Hey guys, I just wanted to jump in here real quick. We're having to redo the high pressure fuel pump on this Verano, primarily because the original pump that we replaced, well, we did a video on it, and that pump, the diaphragm had died. So it was filling the crank full of fuel. It grenaded the O2 sensor on the back, burned out the top converter, all that junk. So, came in, I did the converter. We did a fuel rail switch on this earlier this week. And I went through and I checked my O2s and everything. It's got a code for a bad O2 on the back. Of course, Bosch. Can't do Bosch on this car. It has to be Denso or NTK because that's what the original was. The purpose of this video is not to show you how to do the high pressure fuel pump again, but the quality of the pump. Okay, the pump that I just turned in looked about as generic as you get. This is the replacement pump I got. It's from Standard. It is an OEM pump. There's your OEM pump number. It's got OEM bolts. It's got the OEM gasket. Even says which side goes where. See, this side says pump side on it. So that tells me what direction the pump goes. Also, when you replace these pumps, you have to change this little tube right here. There's a service bulletin that says that these tubes must be replaced or you will have issues with fluid flow. So this is what the tube looks like. Okay, this is also from Standard. So let me give you the revised part numbers. Don't use the part numbers I gave you in the high pressure pump video. Use these pump numbers right here. This is your pump number for your high pressure pump. And this is the number for your line. Okay, so call this an edit, a revision, what you want. But you use the other pump, you're going to have issues. The other thing I want to show you is the bolts are different even. These are the bolts that came in that other box. These are the bolts that you get from Standard. These are OEM bolts because it's got the leader on the front of the bolt before the threads so that you're not jamming these right into the threads and screwing your threads up. See, because if you use just normal thread bolts, look what you do. You end up damaging your threads in your engine. So I'm going to have to clean that out with some brake clean. Get all that garbage out of there so that when I tighten this down, it'll work. Other thing you want to do is check your connectors too, because that other pump, the connector wasn't working very well on it. So you want to look inside your connector and make sure that your pins didn't back out. You can look on the back side too. If you notice any kind of coloration change, like it's lighter color, it's a good chance your pin's backed out and you're going to have to grab the wires and push back towards the front of the clip. You can also, if you needed to, take this blue cover off and you should see the end of your pins in there. The other one, the clip didn't fit right on it, so I don't think it was actually connected. But according to TSB, you're supposed to change the pump and this in the event that you start having low fuel pressure problems. They tell you do not go after the pump tank, or the tank in the pump, whatever the hell I'm trying to say. You got to go after the high pressure pump, not the low pressure pump, basically is where I'm going at with this one. So, being that you've seen me do this, you don't need to see me do it again. So I'm going to finish this repair up. Oh, yes, the Bosch O2 sensors. Don't use those on this car. They are not properly calibrated. The nose is wrong on it. Let me show you. On the O2 that you pull out of the back, you've got, it looks like a regular O2 sensor. Let me get the Denso one that we're putting in this car. Show you what I'm talking about here. On the Denso one, it looks just like the OEM pump. Or it looks like the OEM, see? It's got the good nose on it. On the Bosch, this is all covered up and only get like a small little section in the front. I wish I had taken a picture of it before I sent it back, but can't use Bosch on these. You have to use Denso or NTK O2 sensors. And you can't use performance parts. The yellow box, precision parts, I think it is. Don't use that on these cars. If you get confused, send me a message or email me at ranger.auto.repair@gmail.com, and I'll try to clear it up for you. I know it probably sounds like gibberish right now, but if you ever have to change these out, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna wrap this up, and I'll see you on the next one.